from people we talked to, we haven't talked to anybody else in great length about the Palmach and how you got from the Palmach into the brigade, and then once you were in the brigade, that conflict between being an officer in the brigade and officer in the British Army and the Haganah.
You ask, I will try to answer.
Good. You were here in Palestine, and the war was going on, and you joined the Palmach. Tell us how you got to be part of the Palmach. What happened?
This was very easy. I was a member in the kibbutz, and every kibbutz sent some people to the Palmach. It was accepted that, let's say, every kibbutz will send few of them. They will be a part of the Palmach, because it was a part of the Haganah, the active army of the Haganah. And I was a corporal. I was in the Haganah, and they believed that I'm the right man. It was accepted by the kibbutz. They chose who is going to the Palmach. Not I couldn't say I would like to be a part of the Palmach. The kibbutz made the decision and said, okay, Oli will go to the Palmach, because he was trained in the Haganah and had the first step in the education of the Haganah. And then they sent me to the Palmach. And in the Palmach, I was the first commander of a women group. I trained women. So I started in the Palmach. And the women in the Palmach, they were from, let's say, 17 on until 30, 40. And it was very interesting for me to train really girls or women, even mothers were between them. And later on came up the idea to build up a German squad. People, they were born in Germany or Austria. They speak very fluently German. And because the dangers of Rommel in Egypt start up, and we have to protect ourselves. And how we can protect a small community like we were at that time, 400,000 Jews in Palestine. So the active army was in different kind of groups. We had a German squad and then an Arab squad, and we have people, they were trained to handle ships and even to be pilots without all this was trained in the Palmach. So the basic of an active army was the Palmach. And we go to other kibbutzim, and in the kibbutz you have to make your living that you have a half a day training and a half a day you work in the kibbutz. And they gave us for this half a day to stay there, to be there. And we built up our place in Mishmar HaEmek, in the hill of Mishmar HaEmek, in the forest of Mishmar HaEmek, because it was something separated, not accepted by other people, because we were a secret unit.
Did the British know about the Palmach?
They sure didn't know, but they didn't. They tried to find out how and what will be the active of the Palmach. Let's say we always you could see who is in the Palmach, because we had shorts, very shorts. We're very strong, everybody, and you couldn't select all the people. You couldn't find who is in the Palmach. It was a special type of youngers.
And how did you go from the Palmach into the British Army. What was that transition? What took place?
Look, let's start, not too long, the story.
Okay.
So we built up the German squad. The German squad the plan was that we should act behind the lines if the Germans will come to Palestine. And then was a plan of the Carmel. The Carmel here in the hills of Haifa, that should be like Masada. Masada, that the last point where the Jews fight together against the others. And we should, the German squad, we planned to act in the Negev at the moment that they came in as Germans. And that was our basic training. And to be trained in the Palmach, that's not as a soldier. You have to know everything. You have to know the country. You have to know how to handle a weapon, which kind of weapon, all kind of weapons, because at that time we have all kind of weapons. Then you have to destroy. How you make all how can you destroy roads? How can you destroy behind the lines everything? And between that, then later on, I became a commander of the people. They were born in the other European countries. That's, let's say, in from Czechia, from all this. And I was the commander of Hanasenesh, Chaviva Reich, and all those. And that we built again a different kind of organization. That's the Balkanism, from Balkan. And basically, I was planned to go with them again to Europe, or by parachute, or by underwater boat to Yugoslavia. And I trained them. And then came up the plan that maybe we will be a part of the Jewish Brigade. It was in 43, 44. In 44, the Sharet, Moshe Sharet, was the minister in the building government. He believed that we can be a very useful part of the brigade, of the Jewish Brigade. Again, as German squad, to walk in, to fight in Europe behind the lines. But the British, they didn't accept it so easy. Because how, again, what do you mean you will fight behind the lines, and so on and so on. We had a lot of discussions with the British. Because all the British organization in Palestine was like that the CID was split in different kind of groups. And a part of the CID, they were very interested to have such people that we were. That they could work together, fight together, and we could help them in Europe and everywhere. So basically, the planning, let's say all our parachuters, they go to Europe, they go basically not alone. They have to go together with one of the British officers, because you act in the name of the British Army. You didn't act alone. Not that it was not like that. And I was very often in connection with the intelligence service, the British intelligence service, and we planned a lot of plans, where we will send people, how we will send people, and it was very open, and we talk like friends, because we had the same target. And Then they accepted that the German squad will be a part of the Jewish brigade, and they sent us for a training to Egypt. We were so good trained, but that's the British system. You have to be trained. So we start from the beginning on, we make it very quick, but even it takes time. And the war was very close to the end, and from the brigade group they asked us to come as soon as possible. And then we came to Italy. It was 4 days before the end of the war.
Now you're in Italy. What rank did you have in the brigade?
I was a sergeant.
A sergeant in the brigade.
But basically, that again, the British they accepted, because we were 2 commanders of the German squad, Judah Brigger and I. And basically, we became a rank of a captain from the first moment on. But again, the discussion how you didn't go through the officers' school, and we were officers in the Haganah, but not in the British Army. So they said, okay, you have a rank of, you will be a sergeant on the beginning.
So now you're a sergeant in the British Army.
Yeah.
And you are an officer in the Haganah. And the war is over. And the Haganah starts directing activities, arms theft, etc. How did you feel about being an officer in the British service? Was there a conflict in your mind? I mean,
No.
did that trouble you, tell me.
This is very easy. I always, in the British Army, I feel myself as an Israeli who were sent to the brigade to help to finish the war, and then later, after the war was over, to find children, to find weapons, to steal weapons, to collect the Jews they left over, to go to the camps to see what happened there. And that was our target. And again, we have uniform, but most of our time we spent for the Jewish activities.
Was that your thinking from the first day you landed in Italy?
Yes. The first day, it was 4 days before the end of the war. We prepare ourselves. We had a meeting in the HQ of the brigade group, and we planned how we will act in Italy, when we will go there, and so on and so on, because they didn't know how we act. We had to get uniforms, German uniforms. We had to get German weapons, because here we had it in Palestine at that time, because we always were by our training, because we get orders in German. We teach ourselves, even if you're at night, somebody will wake you up that you answer in German, not in Hebrew. And that was not easy. I was only, let's say I came to Israel, to Palestine at 39. It was 3 years after that, but I started to be an Israeli. My mother language became Hebrew. And the moment that you have to start to think in German, to sleep in German, and all this you have to do in German. And we wake our people up at night and said, hello. And if we answer in Hebrew, it was a terrible thing. Because we trained ourselves so much to be German again. But between us, we talk in the forest that we were staying, our camp, a small camp, we talk German. But you have to work in the kibbutz. So you have to talk in the camp German, and you came to the kibbutz, you talk again Hebrew. A conflict, unbelievable. This was so hard for us. You go home, had a girlfriend. How you talk with her? German? Hebrew. With my brother, I talk Hebrew. And then you came back, again, you have the German uniform, we put on the German uniform, and you talk German.
And in Italy now, the war is over.
Yeah.
War is now over. Did orders start coming down to you on what to do next? I mean, what happened when that war was over? What was...
I was a part of the Jewish Brigade. So now the war is over. We moved from Italy to Belgium, to Holland, to Austria in the beginning, on the border between Italy and Austria. And we didn't have orders, but everywhere who was a part of the Haganah, he looked forward to find Jews and so on. Then I was looking at what happened with all the Nazis. This was connected with the, not with the Brigade Haganah organization, because Shlomo Shamir was the commander of the Haganah in the brigade. But I got orders from the over Shlomo Shamir that we have to look where are the Nazis, where they are now, and what will happen.
Who gave you those orders?
It was the commander of the Haganah in Europe. I was connected with him. And then we find the group of Abba Kovner. Again, they planned to react to all what happened. They had plans to revenge 6 million of Germans and so on. And I was the connection man between the Abba Kovner group and the Haganah. And we start to plan what to do. And then I select all we were looking forward to see where are the German high officers and the German Nazis, the real Nazis, SS, they were commanders of camps. It was not easy to find them. And we found some of them, and then we act against them.
Was there conflict within the brigade? With you going out doing that? And it
was not a conflict, but again, that was some special. They knew that we are busy, but they didn't know what we are doing in the brigade. They knew that we are busy, that we have something to do. But it was not known in the brigade. And we act in very small groups. It was a secret. Because basically we act against the British law. The British, you're a British soldier, you have to have, you get commands from the British. And we were such a little by side.
How long did this go on? How long did the revenge activities take place?
Not too much. Not too much, because, look, all this revenge, it was something what I believe now, and at that time I believe, that we were looking forward to find the highest commanders of the camps and the Nazis. Not against everyone. Not quantity, quality. We were looking forward to find those that are really killed Jews. And it takes time, a few months. And we act very, every group of them, let's say Zaro act different than I act. And others act different, and the group of Abba Kovner act different. But this was the organization of the Haganah. It was not in the hand of the brigade anymore.
Oly, tell Chuck a little bit about how you found, how you went about looking for SS officers, how actually what you did to make that happen.
You told us you looked for the higher ranking Nazis. You weren't interested in all the Nazis. How did you go about doing that? what was the technique to identify who were the Nazis you were looking for?
It was not easy because we didn't have intelligence service to find out where they are and where they are now at the time. On different kind of ways. Let's say I take off my a very nice fellow.
Okay, we're rolling.
Pretty real, okay. We wanted to talk about how, you said it was not easy. How did you go about identifying it?
Okay, so I take off my uniform and go to the Bierstube to drink beer together with the Goyim. Because German was not a problem for me to talk with them. And I say to them, okay, I'm an SS officer. I'm looking for how can I run away from here? Who is the connecting people? I'm alone, I don't know how. And so I built up my private intelligence service. I heard from the people, oh, you're this, go and meet this and this and this. Then I met him. And he started to talk. Where you been? What is your rank? And so on and so on. And so I found him.
And then what?
And I was a youngest. Basically, I was at that time, let's say 44, 45. 45, I was 22 years old. And I've done it by myself, alone. If I think now about it, it's fantastic how you act in a thing that you don't have an organization. You don't have somebody who helps you. You're alone. But if you believe on something, you can do it. And so I found them. And then at the moment that I found, then I have the connection, and I say, okay, go over there. He is now in the hill, there and there, in this house. You will meet him. So I go there. And then I start to act with him. And I said, okay, we are now alone. I'm a Jew. You act against the Jews. You kill Jews. And I start to talk with him. And it takes sometimes it takes 1 or 2 hours. At the moment that I was 100% sure that he is the man who killed Jews, then I took him out and I said, in the name of the nation of the Jews, I kill you. And I killed him. But I said, in the name, don't forget, I myself, for me, it's not that it's not easy. How I came to that point, was not a private revenge. I act in the name of the Jewish nation in this revenge.
Did you think about your own parents when you were doing it?
No, no. I've done it after I've seen what happened in the camps. And I've done it. It was not a problem for me. I was so sure that I do the right thing, what I have to do, that it was not a problem to put on a gun, and that's nothing. That's the most important for me was the conversation with him, to be sure that he was one of the Jewish killers, and the highest position. And then I've done it.
Were the British aware of any of this? Did the British question you about any of this?
Me, never. But they knew about it, and they were looking forward to find us, because they were against. That's the same what happened with the group of Abakovna, that they to put on poison on bread in a SS camp, 35,000 SS officers. and they destroy the action of that on the beginning. So we were in danger more of the German than from the British, that they could kept us. And we act very, so that was the reason why it was not in the hand of the brigade group. Because brigade, let's say Shlomo Shamir was the commander of the third group of the brigade, who gave orders, but he was an officer and he had to split himself between what he has to do as a Haganah commander or a British commander. So it was much easier not to be in the hand of Shlomo Shamir or other officers. They were. We had some fight against. I had some troubles with some officers in the brigade group. That I said, tomorrow I'm not here. I'm busy. What you are busy? You take a pass. You have to have a pass. So I don't need your pass. And because we act, we were 100% sure that what we are doing is what we have to do.
How many were involved? How many of the brigade people were involved in what you were doing?
What I know now, at that time I was only, I knew only about me, about myself. I didn't know about others. But as I know now, it were some 5 or 6 small groups they act against in this revenge. Because it was not easy. You have to, every group was different. Let's say Zaro acted different than me. If he found somebody who was an SS officer, he shut him down. That was. I act more, let's say, as a German squad, as I was trained. I could say I'm a general in the German army, because I was trained for that. I could say this unit and this unit and this unit. I could talk with them what happened with the German. It's different. I was from one side it was not so easy, but the other side was easier for me to find out that, because I could say I'm one of you. If you're going to say I'm not a Nazi, but I was a high officer in the German army.
Tell me about, were you involved at all in the arms theft? I know Zaro was. Did you?
Yes. We were in Belgium. I have a story. We find out we had the German squad had in the port of Antwerpen, and we were there, and always we were looking what is here, what is there, and so on, because we need food for the Jews. They are running away, and we need all kind of things for those organizations. And then I found out that in one of the stores are for snipers, weapon for snipers, rifles for snipers. And we walked 4 nights. I get from one of the Jews in Antwerpen metal was like the heavy of a rifle, and every sniper rifle is in a special box. You know, it's done like it should be done. So at night we took out the sniper rifle, put on the iron stick, and closed very carefully the box, and maybe it was sent back to Britain as then in they opened later and they found out it's no, not anymore. And we took there, I think, some 70 or 80 rifles. And so that was one of the organizations.
How did all this equipment get back?